Hi, Courtney, sir. First of all, congratulations on a fabulous tournament. You've reached the Super 8. Your captain, Sikandar Raza, he mentioned that he actually wanted the world cricket to talk with Zimbabwe with respect from here on. And with the kind of cricket that Zimbabwe has played in this tournament, irrespective of whatever's happened in the Super 8, do you think the world cricket will now start looking at Zimbabwe cricket in a different way? And what's been that one turnaround in this tournament that has transformed this journey?
I think what he has said is correct in terms of he wanted other countries to look at Zim with respect, with Zimbabwe with respect. And I think we have achieved that in terms of our performances in this World Cup. And, long may that continue. And I think the hunger that, that's better now. It was off, probably. Yeah, you can go again.
So your skipper Sikandar Raza mentioned that he wanted the world to look at Zimbabwe cricket with a lot of respect from here on, and with the kind of cricket that Zimbabwe has played in this tournament, irrespective of whatever has happened in the Super 8, do you think the world cricket will start looking at Zimbabwe in a different angle and a different perspective from here on?
I think so. I think the type of cricket that we have played would have proven that. The guys were very consistent in Sri Lanka. We played some very good cricket. We wanted to make a statement here, and I think the performance showed for itself. And we're just happy for the way they played, and was a great success to be here and to be a part of the Super 8.
Hello, Courtney. Basically, you guys, the basically team has dominated the initial stage, league stage match. You beat Australia, Sri Lanka in Sri Lanka. That is very commendable effort. But things are not gone your way in the Super 8 matches. What you think has changed from leagues to Super 8, and basically what are the gaps you need to check?
I think obviously the conditions over here in India is different from what we had in Sri Lanka, different pitches and all that. So it took a while for us to adapt. We didn't adapt as quickly or hasn't adapted as quickly as we wanted to. And it's a different surface. So obviously, it didn't go to plan in terms of our execution. But I still think the guys put their hand up. They did the best they could. Hopefully would have taken away a lot from these conditions here for future references. And I think one of the things, the biggest takeaway is that how quickly you have to adapt in different conditions is one of the things that we will take away from this group.
Courtney, I think the world celebrated with Zimbabwe when they reached the Super 8s. I think everybody was happy about that. And I wonder if, because you got there, did that put stars in the guys' eyes, and maybe they haven't been quite as good since then? They thought job done.
No, I don't think so. Just being inside the dressing room, I know that wasn't the case. We had hunger, we wanted to go further. I think unfortunately we came up against a West Indies team that was fired in conditions that they knew better than us, and they started to throw the first punch and got away with it. If you look back at the game, things could have probably gone different, if one or two things that luck had gone our way. But I think they have played there. I mean, when you look back at their record, they played 5 games there and won all 5, so they know the conditions better than us. It's the first time we have started to play as a team in that condition. Probably had about 3 players that have played in India before, so all that experience was in favor of the West Indies. They got up and running and they rode their luck, and they just took the game away from us. I don't think it was a case that we figured, well, okay, we have done enough. We still wanted to get some more done. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened as yet, but it was an area in the game that we learned a lot from it, and I think even in the second game against India was similar. India know their conditions a little bit better than we did, and the guys are still learning, so to speak, but it's how quickly we make that adjustment and they adapt to the conditions is what we really have to try and nail down.
Hi, Courtney. This is Vineet from CNN News 18. Just wanted your thoughts on Brian Bennett. He's been fantastic throughout the tournament. A word on him, how it has been. He's looked at as the future star for Zimbabwe.
Sorry, I missed the first part. You want my thoughts on
Bennett.
Bennett?
Brian
Oh,
Bennett,
okay.
yeah. Thoughts on him. He's been looked as the future of Zimbabwe cricket, and plus on Blessing Muzarbani, because you've been working with him, very similar build as you are. How has his development been, and throughout the tournament as well? So, word on these 2 players.
I think Bennett, I'll start with him. He's been a superb player for us. He's been dominating before the World Cup, but I think what he has done in the World Cup now will obviously get more attention. But he's just such a humble guy, wanting to learn, wanting to get better, always open to have a chat with everybody, and he's just someone that I think will keep succeeding as long as he keep the same mannerism and focus on his own game. And the sky's the limit. I'm really happy with the way that he has carried the tempo for us and played his role in this World Cup. As a youngster, and I'm hoping that he goes from strength to strength. With terms of blessings, he was slightly out before the World Cup, so there was a little question mark. But I think the way we looked after him and to get him up into the series, for him to have done what he has done, we're very happy for that. We know the potential is there, and I would safely say he's not at 100% throughout the World Cup. He's getting better and better as the game goes on in terms of time on his leg. But he's such a good asset for Zimbabwe, and I'm hoping that as soon as he gets back to normal, we can see the true blessings out there doing what he can do best with confidence and with vigor and with aggression.
Hi, Coach. Here.
Hi.
My question to you is regarding the Zimbabwe bowling unit. Like you just mentioned about Blessing, but there have been other people who have stood up for Zimbabwe. Like Brad Evans has also been there. Ryan Verl and Rasa, they have been handling the spin bowling department. So just a word on this Zimbabwe bowling unit. Like what has really impressed you about this and what they can achieve in future after this World Cup is over?
I think the variety that we have in the attack, as I say, we have learned quite a lot since we have come here. But with Blessings, Richard, Brad, who has been excellent for us right throughout. The figures might not show that, but in terms of executing and working to the game plans, the boys have done very, very well. Creamer, the captain, Raza, Hurley, all the guys have chipped in from time to time. But the potential that is there is very, very good, and this I think will give us some things to work with and to try to improve in all departments going forward.
Hi, Walter. I have two questions. First one, how you see the current bowlers, especially coming from
Repeat that, sorry.
Yeah, I have two questions. First one, that you have played with both the generations, well, past ones as well the current modern ones. So how you see the difference between both the bowlers, especially from the 90s and 2000s and the current ones, pacers, especially particular about the fast bowlers.
From 19 when?
90s and the current ones. What do you see the main difference between them?
In current cricketers you're talking about?
Yeah.
I think obviously with all that's happening on the world stage, with the data that is available now, and you have your own analysts, a lot of information is being shared now that probably wasn't shared back in the days, and it's getting better and better. And it gives you a chance to improve on your own personal game and also give you insight into opposition. So I think those who execute better will always be upfront with it. And it's also good for the game in terms of, what I'll say is that now it's probably more batters friendly in terms of most of the surface that you're playing on. So good fast bowlers will have to dig deep and sort of try to stand up. And we have had a few of them out there playing. It's not going to be easy, especially in these conditions, but it gives you a chance to keep improving your game.
Yeah. Second one, tomorrow there will be a virtual quarter final between India and West Indies. So what's your take on it? Because you have played with both the teams against them in the last two games. So what's your take on that, the quarter final between India and West Indies?
It's going to be a very exciting game. I don't know what the conditions might be like in Calcutta. Obviously, that as a part to play. But I think the teams that bowls better will come out winning this game because both teams are very strong batting, good batting, quality batting. So I think the team that execute better with the ball will have the best chance of winning this game.
Hi, Courtney. Zimbabweans played in India after a very long while. So your team has made a mark, but do you think to improve further, Zimbabwe should play in nations like India and other top big nations more frequently?
Yeah, that would be very good for us, and I think that's what we're trying to get done. I think that's probably what reflects from the captain's statement in terms of trying to get more game, earn the respect of other nations, and try and get more game as well against teams ranked above you, because that's one of the best way of improving. And if we can get that done and plan those tours, then that will also improve Zimbabwe cricket, and I think it will sort of get more kids from Zimbabwe wanting to play, and the current crop that is playing, it will be a vast experience for them and to improve as well. I mean, you have seen the changes since they have gotten here, and they're excited to be here, wanted to make a statement. That hasn't happened as yet. But I think what they have done, with one game to go, if we can sort of put everything together and end on a high, we'll be very happy.
Hi, Coach. This is Pratyush, Times of India. With you in the dressing room, do the fast bowlers, Zimbabwe fast bowlers, do you see them doing well in Test cricket? Do they talk about the lens of Test cricket? I know it's a T20 World Cup, it is all about variations and all. How do you see them? Do they have ambition of doing well in Test cricket? How is it, especially the fast bowler unit currently that you are working with?
The reason why I smile, I had also kind of tell them to cool down. Let's focus on the T20 for now, because that's where we're going. We will talk about Test cricket after, because they're eager, they're keen, they want to learn everything all at once. But I wanted us to just focus a lot on the T20 tournament here, which we have done. But the guys, they're eager to learn, they're keen. And just today, one of the players was asking me, when are we going to start discussing sort of Test cricket and how we go about it. So they're very keen, they want to do well, and I'm really happy with their approach and the willingness to wanting to learn, and they want to do well for Zimbabwe cricket.
Coach, you spoke about varied conditions in India and Sri Lanka. But if you can specify what exactly went wrong in the last two games, obviously the team has conceded more than 500 runs. So, I mean, how did it change so much from Sri Lanka, and what are the areas to work on?
The conditions that we came to play on here, the wickets were a lot different. In Sri Lanka, it stopped a little bit, it might have turned a little bit. Not much of that happened here. It was easier for batting there, flatter tracks. The ball came onto the bat a lot more. So with the change-ups and execution, you have to be a little bit more spot on. So that in itself, we didn't execute as well as we could have or should have. All right. No problem. Pleasure.